Salutations, fellow nerds. I'm Rick Y, the Wise Guy, and today is January 13th, 2025. As the new week dawns, it leaves behind a weekend full of updates that may have been missed, so I thought I would try a new feature. Weekend Summary. Usually, it is a slow period for news as much of the weekend in America is devoted to entertainment, or relaxation, or working. Keeping up with news events can be kind of difficult, so I thought I would try bringing everybody up to speed in this kind of shorter segment. So if you enjoy news, history, and Americana, just make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Sit bell. Take your shoes off. The wildfires in LA have continued to rage through the suburbs and communities, leaving behind destruction and anxiety. Firefighters received little reprieve when the dry Santa Ana winds died down and allowed them the opportunity to try and contain some of the fires. But unfortunately, however, over the weekend, those dry winds have picked back up to around 65 miles per hour, as the National Weather Service is predicting severe wildfire conditions through Wednesday. Sadly, more casualties have also emerged. At the time of this recording, 11 people have now died in the inferno. One tragic occurrence being that of 67-year-old amputee Anthony Mitchell, who was found by the bedside of his disabled adult son, Justin. Another story is that of 82-year-old Rodney Nickerson, who chose to try and wait out the fire as he had experienced much in his time. He didn't feel as though this situation would be any different. And according to his daughter, Nickerson bought the home in 1968 with a $5 down payment. If there is one thing that is demonstrated right now, it's how quickly emergencies can get way out of hand. I cannot stress enough preparedness and the importance of heeding warnings to leave when you're told to. I can tell you from firsthand experience that these things can quickly overwhelm even the professionals, so don't get caught thinking that you're more knowledgeable because it isn't worth it. Homes can be rebuilt. Lives don't come back. Moving on, in what many people with short attention spans are calling good news, Israel and Hamas are closer now than they ever have been to brokering a ceasefire. If you feel like this has been said before, that's because it has. Deals have quickly been brought and then broken down in just a matter of hours quite a few times over the past 15 months. I would personally maintain a wait-and-see stance when it comes to this whole thing. Netanyahu's demonstrated only one desire, and that is to see the complete annihilation of Hamas, which is kind of a tall order given how he has done very little to decrease the recruiting in new members for that group. However, one official familiar with the negotiations has stated that there had been, quote, a breakthrough overnight, and a proposal is now on the table. We will know over the next 12 to 24 hours how successful that ceasefire will be. I won't hold my breath, as Hamas leaders are still demanding that certain issues be resolved that are apparently not within the deal that has been laid out by negotiators from both Qatar and the incoming Trump administration. An Egyptian official helping mediate the deals also agreed with that sentiment and said that those issues were still being kind of discussed. This has been the most violent and the bloodiest fight between Israel and Hamas ever fought. And while the bodies of more hostages are found in the rubble and the IDF is bombing more refugee centers and hospitals, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has continued to seek what he calls total victory over the militants. Given the internal fervor that the far-right factions of Israel have created surrounding this ordeal, the situation seems fraught, as he also faces support within his own government fading to what they deem too many concessions. No matter what happens, though, at this point, more instability is all but inevitable. In Florida news, because there's always some crazy shit going down in Florida, Governor Kitten Heels, as the ladies over at iHip News so eloquently call him, DeSantis is calling into a special session state lawmakers so as to discuss the plans to help carry out Donald Trump's sweeping immigration policies. As conservatives usually whine and cry constantly about executive overreach whenever a Democrat president happens to fart too loudly, they seem too easy to ignore the 100 executive orders that Trump has plans for when it comes to his first day in office. Some of the policies that Trump is excited to enact are those that will support his efforts to mass deport 11 million illegal immigrants. And to those immigrants that think they're the good ones, and since they're not like criminals, they're not targets, I need to reiterate something very, very important to you as much as I can going forward. The justification is that you're already a criminal by being here, and by doing so without legal permission. You most certainly are in the crosshairs, and they will exploit your mere existence here against you. You don't need to be some kind of drug-dealing gang member to have broken the law. If you're so much as get caught with a taillight out and they pull you over, you should probably spend what little time you have before the officer returns to your window to tell those you know here goodbye, because you will be stepping out of that vehicle and you will be processed out of the country. It's that simple. They are not screwing around. Be on your P's and Q's. I know that because DeSantis is all but admitting that he will be implementing legislation in the coming months that will allow officers to, quote, impose additional duties to local officials. What that means is DeSantis is getting with lawmakers to help draft bills in the state to help make it easier for police and local government agencies to detain those they deem inappropriately un-American. DeSantis also says that he is willing and able to suspend any elected officials from office if they, quote, neglect their duties. He even said that he is considering activating the National Guard. So if you're still sitting in some kind of fog of presumption that this new reality isn't going to be what everyone told you it would be, you're in for a hell of a ride. Because Ronnie over here says that he plans on, quote, allocating tens of millions of dollars to help expand funding for enforcement and detention centers. Concentration camps! Sorry. It's a little bit dry here. Basically, if you're an illegal immigrant and you weren't honestly under the impression that you would be subject to any of this, consider this your sign to have a plan, because it appears as though conservatives are already preparing to kick you out. Also, in news regarding large carnivorous cats consuming the faces of folks who have ditched Fenty eyeliner for meat gloss, Project 2025. Yes, although he said he had no idea what Project 2025 even was because he had never even heard of it, Trump officials are already gathering to start new loyalty tests for career government workers that include questions about who they voted for and what kind of social media presence they may have in regards to, opinions they had of the incoming president. I wish I could say that this was towards people like in the mail room or something less harrowing. But incoming Trump team officials have been approaching those who have worked in the White House National Security Council about their political contributions and their voting records. Trump picked another Florida man to head this little project, Representative Mike Waltz, who has implied his intentions to get rid of anyone in the NSC who isn't adequately loyal to the incoming executive officer and his agenda. What this means is that regardless of all of the geopolitical turmoil Trump will be implementing his own DEI, wherein he will push aside those who have been working day in and day out to ensure our safety as Americans, and they will be replaced with sycophants. Given the recent disrespect for the subject matter experts over wrestling federation icons, I have difficulty imagining that this is going to be a positive thing. And speaking with Breitbart, Mike Waltz has also stated that, quote, everybody is going to resign at 10:01 on January 20th, which is Inauguration Day. He then went on to say that this administration will only be hiring people who are 100% aligned with the president's agenda. To those of you who said it, we don't have to worry because Trump has nothing to do with Project 2025, again, he lied to you. He manipulated your sense of ethics and democracy and lied to your face. Project 2025 isn't just going to be implemented as much as it sucks to say, because it already has. There are already career experts cleaning out their desks as I record this video. It's already begun. You chose to listen to the guy who has done nothing but lie to your face for years over the people who warned you that this was going to happen. So guess who, at the end of the day, will be blamed when everything goes south? Not Trump. Not Elon. Not little Mo with the gimpy leg. Trump voters will be the number one reason this is and will be happening. People who chose to stay home because they inexplicably saw the same person in Kamala Harris as they do in Donald Trump, and in the infinite wisdom of doing jack shit nothing on election day when everybody else was counting on them, are the people who did this. So I guess there really is only one thing to say.
Oh, shut up, silly woman, said the reptile with a grin. You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in.
I couldn't have said it any better. Anyways, I appreciate y'all. Again, if you dig the content, make sure to like and subscribe, because it goes a long way in getting the message out and hopefully preventing more of this bullshit in the future elections. You may still be checked out, and that's fair, but we're running out of time before the new regime change, and we must be vigilant in our resistance to inhumanities that are all but inevitable. I cannot stress to you all enough the importance to stay informed, stay engaged, and stay decent. Y'all come back now. Yeah?